Abusia yamama kwaba sonko so eba POG Media ene yede mbekọ highway no so highway no de ensem bebre wo so a yenso yaje penese yebe me abedwafo no ehu de ekọ ene de eba na dan na ekọ so highway no so eye Kelvin ekọ bedu Taylor ana be drop hot fire on Dr. Bawumia enye asam keto akra ene waye Dr. Bawumia pasa nsɛm a waka expose Dr. Bawumia ɛne Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government no ɛnyɛ asɛm ketewa koraa na ɔka nsɛm bebree ɛfa Dr. Bawumia ɛntro a ɔde twa Ghana ɔtwa kyerɛ Ghana for sisi ano ɔsɛ Dr. Bawumia lose credibility a Ghana na ebia ne wa ɛyɛ sɛ ɔkoto aba ɛma Dr. Bawumia na Dr. Bawumia ɔyɛ wicked man ɔne Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo no ɔmo nyinaa yɛ pɛ nti Dr. Bawumia no sɛ ɛba ɔne John Dramani Mahama ɔmo mmienu deɛ ɔwɔ track records a John Dramani Mahama ayɛ vice president ne bi da ɛna Dr. Bawumia ɔno nso no ɔno yɛ current vice president ɛna John Dramani Mahama nso no ɔsan so wɔ much experience on presidency a Dr. Bawumia no ɛnyɛ ne ti pɛn koraa ɛne John Dramani Mahama enye asem keto akwa wakasa ensam na okan no yebepɛ sɛ yebɛme abedwafo na nkasa bɛme akɔ na yakɔ akotie ensam a Kelvin ekɔ bedu Taylor ɛde atudwa na ansa na yebɛkɔ no o ensam kan bi afahye ye comment section like na share ma afoforo nso no ensa intumi enka bi afie de NDC for no omo ani abre sɛ omo bɛgye power afri NPP ne Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wicked government nsama enye asem keto akra na wo ensem kan bi afahye ye comment section like share ma afoforo nso no ensa intumi enka bi eye POG Media medamase
money to do. It is a suggested John Mahama Mao. Now because this is emphatic to mano. Now because of this and this and that and this and that is a say. When and I'm saying to my John Mahama, I am giving you a reason why I'm saying vote for John Mahama. In this own school swaha, own hospital swaha, own dear a quiny bibiana so say, pay way. Now part of fra, then you go ahead and go and choose a nipa on to me a deal muba kumau. Anytime I say I am rational, I am Ghanaian before a journalist. And when I suggest John Mahama to you, I just don't say John Mahama no offenti. John Mahama they say the near BNT. John Mahama ya this in Tumano. Make sure the reason why until also to John Mahama. It's a journalist but not TV so. Now okasa or can be beer tia binding na at the end of the day when to me and conclude this vote against this government because where we are all going to suffer. That's our journalist, he's not ready to tell you the truth. He is just lamenting. He still wants you to go on with the hardship, follow the fools, and that is what we need to know. There is Mahmoud Bawumia, our City FM.
Bernard asked Dr. Bawumia how citizens can be reasonably assured that NPP will deliver on its policies this time around, in the light of the fact that the political parties have failed and refused to do so in the past, including the NPP. I want to have hope again, but history tells me it's all talk and that it's unwise to be hopeful. They just want to enrich themselves in power. What's your reaction to that? That's my final.
If it was a matter of enriching himself, Nana Akufo-Addo would not really be here. He's not someone who is there for making money. He's one of the most honest. He's a man of integrity. He's very honest and he's very focused on delivering a vision. Nana Akufo-Addo is not in politics because of his stomach. Everybody knows he's incorruptible, and I'm very glad to provide him with the support. We really mean what we say about wanting to transform this economy. We want to relieve Ghanaians of the hardships. If you look today, teachers are suffering, teacher trainees are suffering, fishermen are suffering, nurses are suffering, cocoa farmers are suffering, laborers are suffering, drivers are suffering, insurance costs and roadworthy and all of that. Prices are much higher today than during the NPP era across. And so we want to bring in a transformative agenda to make Ghana the most business-friendly and the most people-friendly economy in Africa. We really mean it, and we are asking for the support of Ghanaians, for Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the NPP to bring this change that we need so badly in Ghana.
We wish you well in your campaign. Thank you very much for talking.
So, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in 2016 opened to me. So, when Bawumia campaign message, it's a rhyme. Teachers are suffering, nurses are suffering. Kuku try. On say not only message. Any fool can say nurses are suffering. Any fool can say teachers are suffering. Any fool can say cocoa farmers are suffering. The question was like, dear na mobeye, Amagana for Jimwidi Samoya Papa Chain, NDC John Mahama. And he started saying, Nana Danko Ekufuado is incorruptible. Can you say that today? No. So it means a day a bow mono ominde omuindi so. So you're a journalist, now you're a Christian, now show Yanko Pombo no win this so automatically what from Yame. That's how it is. John Mahmoud Bawumia, Eka say, Nana Ekufuado and NPP are buying, if it was about money and wealth, a master of wealth, corruption, Anka, and the Ekufuado, any ononkin choose almost say as Omumbeye president. 2016, he wanted power. He went all the way down to teachers. He said Ekufuado is honest and focused. Or say Ekufuado is incorruptible. Or say the teachers are suffering. Nurses are suffering. Drivers are suffering. Cocoa farmers are suffering. Prices of goods and services are too high, out of the roof. And they are not going to do that. They are coming to help the people build roads, build schools, make the economy more resilient. The dollar, which was at 3.9 when he was speaking, they were going to make sure the dollar will go below 3.9. Now, the question here is, all the things that Mahmoud Bawumia Kayano, it has not been fulfilled after 8 years. Nana Danko Ekufuado also, when he got the opportunity to speak on corruption and what it means and why he is not corrupt, this is what he said.
You hear it now, we're told that there is corruption in the Ekufuado government. Let me reassure you of one thing. Every allegation about corruption against any official member of my government will be investigated by the law enforcement agencies. Every single one. And those who make that allegation better be prepared to support it when they're making these allegations of corruption. Because nobody's going to get away with it. I am not going to preside over a government. If I don't know about it, I can do nothing about it. But knowingly, that will support corruption in our country. We need to deal with it. Every allegation of corruption that is made against any of my officials, I have given instructions to the law enforcement agencies that they should investigate each and every one of them. The instrument for dealing for corruption.
This is Ekufuado. Or see, every corruption allegation that will be associated against any of his appointees, he will make sure it is investigated and dealt with. Onoangasani Sector Minister Professor Frimpong Boaticho a report. Eri command say, we busieni gabi ochredako, kweku bako. The National Women's Organizer, Samia Uku, Kujo Akroma, your government appointees are involved in Galamsey. Nana Danko Ekufuado took the report, put it in his ass, went to Menshia as usual to lie to those people sitting there who are actors and catch the Otum for say, or not there, he's fighting Galamsey. This is the Ekufuado who is incorruptible. This is a Ekufuado who said he was going to fight corruption. As we sit here today, what has happened to the Professor Frimpong Boateng expose and report? PDS, has any investigation been opened? No. Ejapa, has any investigation been opened? On one the Busian Forum, PDS, the Busian Forum, all his appointees, Bawumia was involved. Has he spoken on it? No. Yet Akroma, 1,500 excavators a year. Has he spoken on it? No. These people have failed. So, especially when you get journalists who got the opportunity to interview these people in 2015, 2016, before they were given the nod to come into power. Now, money among Atna for 8 years. And you know, when you weigh their performance against the performance of the government before them, when you start taking, you realize that every single thing that they said, they went contrary, or they are going contrary to it. And the omoka in opposition, omunyemu bako. And now what's the toto abaya ne woho and sana omo bana. You could see said abaya ne woho in everything they were better than these people. So what to make it so difficult for a journalist to rant, speak on the facts which are right, and not to conclude by saying, say, vote against Akufo-Addo Bawumia NPP? Why would it be so difficult for a young man who knows that this government has failed, calling himself a journalist or herself a journalist? Because at the end of the day, every journalist votes in Ghana. Every single journalist is a Ghanaian before being a journalist. Every single journalist is a Ghanaian before. Obi oti Ghana eto aba a journalist. Dia enim de ekoso. Bernard Avle oto aba or a Ghanaian before a journalist. Otia school fees, otia light bill, otia water bill. Offer Ghana kwan so onim how unemployment say chrono the government hasn't delivered. Onim how corruption edidi deep into the Jubilee House. He's a journalist, but he's not stupid. He's rational. So when you sit on radio and you rant, and at the end of the day, you are not able to tell the people that I have been in this job for all this while. People can say I am this or I am that. But rationally, I want to tell you that this is a government that you are not supposed to go out there and give them a nod to continue. Because after assessing their performance, putting it against their opponents have done far, far better. So when you sit on radio as a journalist and you lambast, you speak, you get furious. I understand. You are human too. The economic hardship you are going through, the frustration, you see it. But what is stopping you from telling the people to stop this hardship, to stop this kind of corruption, to stop this derailing of the progress of this nation? It is you using your platform to let them understand that I sat with these people, I interviewed them, I've looked at them, I've assessed them. They are not the right people to lead Ghana. So you should be able to make that emphatic statement to say, I am a Ghanaian before a journalist. This NPP government is wrong. But now what you see now is they lambast a lot. They complain a lot. They say the right things a lot of the time. But that they will nail the NPP government, they stay away from it. How do you expect to get change? This is Bernard Avle complaining and lamenting.
Go back and fix the fundamentals. You cannot tell me you're good. No. Fix the currency. When you took over, the dollar was about 3.8. It's now 12. Our incomes have not increased times 4. So you cannot tell me that you fixed it. Inflation rate went above 50. It's now in the 20s. 20s is still very bad. Your bank, you call it your reference rate, 29% is too high. Even in Western countries, they are doing negative interest. Go back and fix the fundamentals. You cannot tell me you're good. No. Fix the currency. When you took over, the dollar was about 3.8. It's now 12. Our incomes have not increased times 4. So you cannot tell me that you fixed it. Inflation rate went above 50. It's now in the 20s. 20s is still very bad. Your bank, you call it your reference rate, 29% is too high. Even in Western countries, go back and fix the fundamentals. You cannot tell me you're good. No. Fix the currency. When you took over, the dollar was about 3.8. It's now 12. Our incomes have not increased times 4. So you cannot tell me that you fixed it. Inflation rate went above 50. It's now in the 20s. 20s is still very bad. Your bank, you call it your reference rate, 29% is too high. Even in Western countries, they are doing negative interest. Go back and fix the fundamentals. You cannot tell me you're good. No. Fix the currency. When you took over, the dollar was about 3.8. It's now 12. Our incomes have not increased times 4. So you cannot tell me that you fixed it. Inflation rate went above 50. It's now in the 20s. 20s is still very bad. Your bank, you call it your reference rate, 29% is too high. Even in Western countries, they are doing negative interest.
So basically, Bernard Avle and City News Morning true. They are complaining that this government has failed. But at the end of the complaints, he could not conclude by saying, these people are not supposed to lead. And you listening to me out there, Bernard should have said, you listening to me out there, I am a Ghanaian before a journalist. I vote. I go to the ballot like you. I voted for a country that will see majority of the youth employed. I voted for good roads. I voted for corruption to be subdued. I voted for a government to create opportunities for the young people. I voted for corruption to be at least not eliminated, but at least fought to a point where we all understand the government has done its part. I voted for good health care, health facilities to be built around the nation. I voted for good schools to be built around the nation. Basic education facilities are supposed to be what? Supposed to be built around the nation. I voted for what these people told me. And that if after 8 years, I don't see any of these things making impact in my life and your life, why should I sit here and hide behind journalism and lament and bombard people with words? I am supposed to tell you that this government is bad news and that nobody should go to the ballot and vote for them. This is you applying common sense over your affiliation to political party or politicians. And you can go ahead and let the people know why. The reason why today you as a journalist who is seen as a neutral, even though you vote, the reason why I'm telling you that these people have failed, they cannot help us, is because when I take or look back and assess their predecessors or the government that was led by NDC, John Mahama, I can weigh what they did against what these people have done. And I can tell you for a fact that at least that government, even though they did not promise so much, they have been able, or they were able to deliver this regional hospitals. They were able to go to my own region, Volta region, to build a university. They have been able to supply water. Mampong people are drinking clean water. Kwabre people are drinking good water. I can talk about their predecessors building senior high schools around the nation, which we all know and see every day. I can talk about crazy world-class health facilities built by their predecessors. That's the NDC, John Mahama, UGMC, Bank of Ghana Hospital, the CHIP compounds around the nation, the regional hospital in the northern region. We can go to Afari, regional Afari hospital. We can go to Kumewu. So you as a Ghanaian, you need to let people know, being a journalist does not make you a fool. Being a journalist at the end of the day make you unique when it comes to analyzing the issues. So you have to let the people know that the moment I get the opportunity to sit in front of a mic, I am no more Ghanaian. I am still Ghanaian. I still pay bills. I am like you. And that these people, whatever they said, they have left or they have performed abysmally. But what they can do is what I'm telling you. They cannot tell you to vote against the NPP. Because as we speak today, the person who owns City News, City FM, City TV is Gabi Ochidakun, who is a prime suspect, a criminal who is involved in this mess we are in. And this is the problem we have today. We need to understand, if it is not John Mahama and the NDC, it is who? Get me somebody who is better than John Mahama in politics today in Ghana. Better track record. And then I will say, you are having a conversation with a human being. Give me somebody. Say, enye Jesus a wine Barnabas no mumbo ni dinchire me. Why ne Barnabas na bo compare Jesus no? Mo se mo mpe Jesus no, na mo pe Barnabas. Me se sa Barnabas no wine. Ye di Jesus se mamo. Ye se Jesus ni nie, one ne egya ne ba no, ono ene ba baji nipa nkwa. Mo se mo mpe. Na mo pe Barnabas. Na Barnabas no mumbo ni dinchire ya, eno so a muntumi mbo. Inchesia ne yenya mo den. And today in Ghana journalism, that is what is happening. They will lament. They will say things. NPP anya de The idea chase on men and yadia, near jeans a corruption back of form, near jeans of Boba school, near jeans on Mebuagana, Abe Fejuma, Nanina Omanya, into Ghana, their politicians, dear no muye, no. Anything a politician be a ding any party or dom. The NPP is a party different from the NDC. The NPP is a property making machine, a political party. The NDC is a social political party. They have two different ideologies and mentality and vision. One party, NDC, the vision is to save the people, bring the people closer to government and do what the people want. And intina, NDC, no, say, we have to let the people decide what we as a government should do. The people need to tell the government what they want, because it is because of the people that you people have been voted into office. But when a political party like the NPP that comes in to own properties, they will rather put their interest first. In the Saudi NPP for the past 8 years, we are building a cathedral. Did the people ask for a cathedral? No. Uko back now, NDC from JJ Rawlings at Amos Mahama. The people want a regional hospital in Kumasi. The people, they wanted a market that will be world class, that they would trade. That is what the people wanted. And then a John Mahama and NDC for the Maomo. Because the people need to rule. The people need to govern. The people in power, a president and then the subordinates appointees, no, they need to serve the people's interests. So when you lose or miss that plot, and then the MPP for bar no be dem no more. Because when Kufuor came into power or into office, if the people's problems were his priority, anka oye kejetia, anka usi regional hospital, anka oye kwine, anka oye nsuo. But because Kufuor Mobile and the people's priority wasn't his priority was to better himself and his colleagues into Tamgana gold and okonane no betun kum. You get it? And oye then oye bibi friend Ghana at 50. And your crackers and your manisika and odie. Otia santimemu wentumi anye edwabako amani nuanoma santifo sebio school di omompe but edwadie no omope. It wasn't his priority, because his priority was he himself and his clique to make money. So there are two different political parties with two different ideologies. And it's when you pick a year Ghana's constitution, when you pick a year Ghana's Fourth Republic, since they say you free soldier ben be doing there, every single the edifice socially, economically, politically, benefiting Ghanaians, it is only the NDC that you can mention. Why should it be the same? Realistically, we are not supposed to compare the NPP to the NDC, because when we pick sector by sector by sector, you realize that the gap is wide. We are a third world country. We need material things. We need physical facilities. We need roads. We need schools. We need water. We need good health care. We need to make sure that these things are there for us to access. Then we can think about changing it into the things you cannot physically touch that can also impact our development. Because when you come to the Western world, they started by building their nation. After they were done building it, over America, they started building locomotives in the 17s because they needed to transport food. They needed to transport their merchandise. They needed to connect the nation. So what they did, those times as a third world country, they concentrated on infrastructure. You build your railway lines, you build your dams, you build your road networks, then you start to demarcate your country where each resources is going to be beneficial to the country. So when you do that, after you do that, what is going to happen is when these things start to work, when your water system is good, your rail network is good, your housing is good, when your school is good, when your everything is fine, then you start to think about, okay, how do we elevate these things, join them that you cannot see physically, but it can impact your life. There are two kinds of development. There's a physical development and the development that you don't see. And some of the development that you don't see is when somebody puts a fiber optic cable in the ground. Send sending message krum and stream from Akroma. Those are the second level of development. It is a John Mahama school or ye a crime free kaswa or ye overhead or ye pokwase or sisi schools ye nsuo. Now we see regional hospitals. Now afei owiena or the cable shafom. Now because the country needs to go digital. Now he's moving from the physical to the ones you cannot see, visual. Now what he was doing there, he was connecting the country physically and I don't want to say spiritual, but invisibly. And Nuntina, you will see in 2014, people could call somebody on video with stream. Now he has connected the roads. He has connected the hospitals. He has connected the schools. He has connected the physical infrastructure. It is about time we connected them all invisibly for the country to move. It is over Europe, over America, over other places that has developed that. They started the fundamental by building infrastructure. You need that. So, thank you very much, team. So when you look at American history, that is the fundamentals. Because here can't world democracy, America money, UK money, so when you even watch some of the channels in America, normally when you go on Nat Geo, on TV in America, the reason why I have those channels is to let you know if you're a foreigner, so about America, and now you're a young man and you happen to watch that channel, History Channel, they have channels that talk about how America was built and how it was done. Every channel that you watch, how America was built, how burger came to be, how they started making coke, how they started to build railways. They want you to understand that America was built physically. The base is infrastructure. So you see things like this on American television. The man who built America. We have Ford. Today we still have Ford that exists in America. In America, every police car is Ford because they built Ford from scratch. It is their property. They didn't build church. They didn't build a cathedral. In the American history, what they put together to build America is what has held America today. Today, so our first Ford in America for building, I have a friend car, now it was 2 tires and about 3 tires. Today, that Ford, you can listen to Bluetooth in it because they have been able to build the infrastructure. Now, what they are doing is they are building on it. They have Rockefeller, Mobile America. Who is Rockefeller? Rockefeller. Those are the people who started building America from scratch. It is the physical part of America. And the NPP does not understand. And we the journalists love to let the people understand. Say, so Bibe Janaka Church said digital in there, na oninsu numa, nipana bodam. Because the digital has been there. Somebody started putting those things together and they're moving it. So you cannot just come and say digital. What is digital? Abra Umfa, 1 cable and share form. We have people like Carnegie. These people are the people who built America. Morgan, Vanderbilt. These are people who decided to build America from the scratch. They had to dig the dust to find America. They dug the ground. They built railway lines. They built factories. They had to build America from the ground. Hard. You need to touch it. You need to see it. You need to see things. You can never build Ghana digitally without physical infrastructure. So you need to understand. Bebiana John Mahamani NDCD Kono. So we check the history of Ghana from 1992, the 4th Republic. If even you want to go back, let's be very fair to the NPP. Kwame Nkrumah ba Ghana, not only NPP for nam. Kwame Nkrumah, when he was coming from the UK, when he was coming, he had only one mentality. Whatever he has seen out there, he wanted to implement it in Ghana. And what did Kwame Nkrumah see when he went to the US and the UK to learn? He saw that the people were building. The country was being run by companies. Individuals were building companies. Government was establishing infrastructure. So when Kwame Nkrumah came with that intention to come and join J.B. Dankwamo to come and help elevate or move Ghana from that archaic age to the industrial age, when he came to Ghana, and realized and said, no, the NPP, J.B. Dankwa, UP people mentality is to enrich themselves. And that he did not come with that mentality. And Nuntina Kwame Nkrumah said, it is okay. If we all cannot build this nation together, then I'll go my way and find people who have the industrialized mentality to build Ghana. And when Kwame Nkrumah did the CPP. That is how the NDC from 1992 brought this called the Green Book. J.J. Rawlings started building from the scratch. Ebedu John Mahama's nom said, this should be a holy grail. Where any home krono and woman krona ye betum dia boy and home buying at Ghana. So Kwame Nkrumah just stepped in and started building hospitals. Now we see Konfanoche, now we see Kolebu, now we see meat factory. And he wasn't doing it at one place. Kwame Nkrumah was making sure say Obetumia connected chrono from different parts of the country. And that is the same thing the Americans did. The Ford, the Vanderbilt, the Morgans, the Rockefellers, they did not start only in New York City. These people all started from different states in the United States of America. They ended up and they built a nation. And to say, Kwame Nkrumah, he was trying to move the country from that archaic mentality to self-industrialize as a nation that we can employ ourselves. A nation that we can create opportunities ourselves. How do we do it? The white man can have all the power on you when you cannot sufficiently do what? Build yourself. So he was creating the opportunity by whatever he learned in the US. Because when Kwame Nkrumah came to America to study, the Malcolm X's, he saw them. He saw these people, they were black people, they were even fighting for themselves, which they were not even supposed to be doing in the first place. If when they were in Africa, and if they had that mentality, the black people, Malcolm X and those people would not be here for people to suppress them. So Kwame Nkrumah learned a lot. He was part of student unions. He was part of history, Black History Month and all those. He was learning something. Why are the black people in America being oppressed? Because this is not where they are from. This is not what they built. So to stop this kind of trade, bringing humans, Kwame Nkrumah saw demonstrations where black people were shot on the streets. He saw when he went to school the discrimination, how blacks could not use the same bathroom with the people who own the land. How black people did not get the opportunities like the people who own the land. So he asked himself, I came to study, I have witnessed it, I am going to stop this. So people will say Kwame Nkrumah is a Pan-Africanist because he saw it, that until he comes back to enlighten his brothers to understand we can do it and build it from scratch, we need to taste the dust. Kwame Nkrumah can say we need to taste our own dust. And when we taste our dust, we will understand how we can build our dust. So he came and said, let's build this. But J.B. Dankwa, NPP ASEAFOWE, UP4 said they don't like the idea of forming a political party that was not enshrined from a tribe. And into the 2-4 said to say party NPP no ya chichiri the woman shia ya hinie any chichiri. So Kwame Nkrumah did not believe in building a political ideology from a tribe and also stew. Until he said, I will go the way that I understand and believed in, and I have seen it, and it has made some people powerful. We need to build. So he started building, and the opposition was coming from what? From where? The opposition was coming from the people who are called the UP people. That is why Oba Asantimemu, Kwame Nkrumah, even though after building a Konfanoche and all that, they still felt that politics, governance should be about some people. But Kwame Nkrumah knew that government shouldn't be about a group, a tribe, an individual. Governance should be about the people. And no name will be 1992. And J.J. Rawlings admired Kwame Nkrumah's philosophy and ideology. So when J.J. Rawlings took over from 79 and he came back again to take over, he made sure the people have the power. It should be about the people. What do the people need? Now, Kwame Nkrumah Yabedu point to be, it wasn't enough. They still need water. They still need electrification. They still need to open up the horizon of the people. They still have to be self-sufficient. So J.J. Rawlings started rural electrification. He built a dam. He started building schools. He knew that young people were supposed to be patriotic. He introduced what we call national service. So that when you go to school, you need to serve the nation. You need to understand patriotism. To J.J. Rawlings did the national service by. To do what? To instill some patriotism in the people and in the kids. The national service was basically going to give stipends to young people who were thinking of following our forefathers out to go and be treated like Malcolm X and the rest. So they were not just building, they were allowing the people to tell them what they want. And it's now the spiral growth of things around the nation. When J.A. Kufuor came to power after J.J. Rawlings, what happened? We were in this country when J.J. Rawlings introduced VAT. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the NPP went out there to demonstrate. Why? 1995, because J.J. Rawlings had introduced tax that was going to take revenue from the people to expand the nation. The issue is, the president and the government of the day did not say the VAT was going to go to J.J. Rawlings. The VAT was going to build the nation. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the NPP, the UP group, stood against it. J.A. Kufuor and the NPP came to power. What happened? The first thing they did was to go out there and tell the world that the guy who we succeeded cannot be trusted because he still have military tendencies. After the guy had ruled for 8 years, he never shot an individual in Ghana. After J.J. Rawlings ruling for 8 years, he didn't put a gun to anybody's head in Ghana, where any record can say J.J. did murdered somebody on the streets of Ghana after 1992. But J.A. Kufuor and NPP, UP, or Safma Fumo went out there after J.J. handed over and told them that J.J. Rawlings is still a military person with military intentions. When he came to office, he amassed all the wealth. He stole Ghana's money. And then quickly, they went to HIPIC. So you have to understand that the building of this nation has been halted. It has been derailed. Some people just come in and they just come in to steal. Make sure how a nation is built, why infrastructure, why what John Mahama and the NDC are doing is what we need as a nation. It let no man. Americans, some of them decided to take a step. Infrastructure is the way to go. When you see all these Americans, Cornelius Vanderbilt, shipping and railway, that was his expertise. They built it from scratch. No country can develop without infrastructure. This is American history. Do not think America became America from yesterday. America became America because they took the decision to build America from the dust. Somebody like John D. Rockefeller, Oil and Standard Oil Company. He built an oil company because the American locomotive needed oil to run around the nation. Someone like Andrew also did what? Steel and Carnegie Steel Company. He built a steel company so that they can build more factories with steel, build more homes, construct the nation from steel. These are Americans. And this is what Kwame Nkrumah started. And that is why he was able to build Akosombo. In 1965-67, Kwame Nkrumah thought of building Tema Oil Refinery. Why? Because he knows what he went there to see is what is making black people oppressed in America and Europe, because they did not have their own. That is why we see young Africans trooping to Europe and America. He saw it. He was quick. He learned quickly. He was fast. He wanted to stop it. Somebody like J.P. Morgan, financing and banking. He was an expert in that. He built banking from the scratch. Americans needed to make sure their finances are stable, resilient. Americans should have a system that they could believe in, that when they work, they can keep, and when they retire, they can go there and take their savings and live till they die. They use the bank to support businesses. What did they do? Henry Ford, automobiles, and Ford Motors around the nation. Today, when it comes to the United States of America, every police vehicle is Ford. Why? Because they believe in what they built, and they know they built it themselves, and that is how they are going to build their nation. So back to Bernard Avle. When you speak as a journalist in Ghana and you talk, and you don't tell the people the truth that this government is not supposed to move, you are wasting the people's time. Because every single thing that they told you, they have not been able to deliver. Every single thing that they told you, they have not been able to deliver. So what is the excuse? What is the excuse? Somebody can tell you that you are doing politics. We are the ones who are supposed to do politics. When we say Aponchi be your politics, that no. When we say Akoko be your politics, that no. Humans do politics, and you have to be smart to do politics. You have to be honest. And politics is not complicated. Politics is making sure holding people accountable. Because when you hand over power to an individual, you expect the person to be accountable to the power you have handed over to him. Because it's not just the power, it comes with resources. And those resources belongs to all of us. All of us. Resources. So when they fail to deliver, you have to leave power. And that is why consistently, Ayana Metise Nkofobi make a statement on national television and saying, Mahamudu Bawumia be president. Adentra, Mahamudu Bawumia be president. We can be assured of 8 years. Mr. S, get me that video. Anytime it is Nkofobi because Bawumia has to be president, and that Bawumia be president, only be that, obedi 8 years. Nobody is assured 8 years. The Holy Grail, the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, says everybody has 4 years. Every single politician who wants to be president of Ghana, you have 4 years. After your work, we will sit and analyze your work and say, should we add 4 years? So you cannot sit on radio or on TV and say, Bawumia the president that because of that, 4 years now, obesenya 8. No, you are being foolish because the Constitution itself says no politician in Ghana is guaranteed 8 years. You are only hired for 4 years. You get extra 4 depending on your job. Now we have hired 2 people in affairs. The president and his vice, who are the biggest people of this land. 8 years. We sit on radio today and still lambasting them that they have failed. Why should we give 4 years to Bawumia? Because the Constitution does not say that Bawumia deserves 8 years. We give every single politician 4 years. So, where from the argument that Bawumia and your president that Intiyama Bawumia be the president, now we the president, your 8 years is secured. Nobody's entitled to 4 years as the president of the republic. Nobody in Ghana. That is why when John Mahama was president for 4 years, must say they all and so many. Now who be a monfanto to John Mahama Juma. There was nothing to compare. Sanke compare John Mahama Juma to Kufua and Kayen Tuntia John Mahama. And Kayen Kotwaba. And Quebec say, even though John Mahama there 4 years, Yen Twaba on Twaso, but because we did not have anything to compare to, the funny thing is, when John Mahama was president in 2016, because we knew that Kufuor did worse, bad things, we could not compare John Mahama's administration to Kufuor. You know why? Because na Kufuor any standard. Saying Kufuor was standard, and the Kufuor to John Mahama, and Kebe say John Mahama Juma wa Kufuor and 1%. But we were so much into our tribe. We were so much into names. We were so much pissed off. Our anger was geared towards individual and their names. We did not look at the bigger picture. We did not look at building a nation. We looked at satisfying old men. Today, we have something to compare to Bawumia's 8 years in power. So why should a journalist sit on TV and say Yama Bawumia embedi president because Bawumia de ondi bida obenya 8 years. Who says anybody is entitled to 8 years in Ghana? Who says that anyone in Obi or Ghana who is entitled to 8 years? Nobody is entitled. Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado from his own mouth, he said on national television, nobody is entitled to 8 years as president. Everybody has 4. I'm trying to get you the video. Mr. S. Mr. P. Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado in 2016, addressing the nation, he was emphatic. He said, nobody is entitled to 8 years. Every single Ghanaian is entitled to 4 years. It is a Joma 4 years, sir. That is what the Constitution says. Sir, Bawumia 4 years, sir. That is what the Constitution says. Into why are we today having that conversation? Say, Bawumia the only president that into only Oba, we are assured to say 8 years. Why are you assured? Because you have given him 8 years. And the 8 years, he cannot even defend his own records. He cannot tell you what he did in the 8 years. So why are you telling me that we should give Bawumia power because Bawumia made the 8 years? What is the guarantee? Because the Constitution does not guarantee that. Because Ghana Mrano, nothing guarantees 8 years for anyone. So Obibedi 8 years in power as Ghana president. It is only 4 years. And John Mahama is trying to come back again because you people understood say Obia is entitled to 4 years. And I'll be happy if my team, if they are able to get me that video, maybe if you could forward and say no, I said nobody's entitled to 8 years. Say people like Bernard Avle and other journalists in Ghana, if not for Tenye John Mahama, wine. Samose mumpe Yesu me say Barnabas na mo peno wine Barnabas na mo pesa mo de maye na yenhwe se Barnabas ne papa chen Yesu a. And these are simple things we are asking. Barnabas na bobo ne din say ono ne peno Barnabas ne peno no. The question we are asking is Barnabas na mo peno no ono ne hwan yanhwe se Barnabas ye de tutu Yesu Kristo na Barnabas ne papa chen Yesu Kristo na eno amuntumi nka Yesu Kristo so ne yefa ne siso amosamo mpe enti mo pedien eya ho ya. You people don't know. You people don't want to accept say John Mahama is better than Kufuor. He is better than Ekufuado and he's better than Bawumia. John Dramani Mahama is better than Kufuor when it comes to governance. He is better than Ekufuado when it comes to governance. He is better than Mahamudu Bawumia when it comes to governance. So who is your Barnabas? Mo Barnabas no one wine because yeni Yesu ni de dinechi. Yeni Yesu yedim so betuma age yenkwa. Yeni Yesu ndie wa ye bi pen enti ye betumi ade ne na yesi fo maka se wei ni onyankopon ba no. Ye hu se ne ye bo nesu. Time na Paul ibo Yesu esu ye ni tua. Yenim de ye kafa no ho. Na mo Barnabas na mo se mo mpe Yesu mo pe no no one hwan. Edien bra na wabo ensenkyerene be na waye edien na waya echen Yesu Kristo yo nyankopon ba no eno na yebusa because eye Yesu Kristo de yenim ne dada one ne John Mahama waye bi pen if say metam sa enwoma we eye the holy grail in politics Ghana politics eye the green book eye John Mahama Yesu Kristo politics no na nsa no adwumanie. See a tam Bible you better make a Yesu nsa no adwuma onyane Lazarus o ma ebubuafo sore ye o ye jantra fo kra ote omo ho Yesu eko Zacchaeus wo eko bompa ye ma Zacchaeus manif dwane free edien ne boni mu Yesu Kristo nsa no adwuma ene Bible no political Bible in Ghana any this is the evidence. And the question to you people is say enye Yesu Kristo no enye Yesu na eye den Paul born send you John eye Atamos ka say monje no we ne me doba osomani. And he has come, he has lived it, he has shown us, we can see his job. The question here is, someone pay Yesu na Barnabas ne wine. Monfa mo Barnabas ne mbra. Na yamfa Barnabas entutu Yesu Kristo ho. Say
abusua we ne ensema Kelvin Ekwobedu Taylor ede etudwa was strippe Bawumia naked you see Ghana for omo who said Dr. Bawumia nyumadi na odi wo Ghana e atronko a yebeda ya bidwafo na say omo njepene kuti sa audio we edemaye na yebesa nso akan mo say mo ensem kan bia mo de be share your comment section no ma like no ma sanso a share ama afoforɔ nso no ensa etumi aka bi. Ɛyɛ POG Media. Medamase.